seasons don't fear the reaper, nor do the wind or the sun or the rain. We can be like they are. Come on, baby, don't fear the reaper. Baby, take my hand. Don't fear the reaper. You'll be able to fly. Valentine is done here, but now they're gone. Romeo and Juliet are together in eternity. Romeo and Juliet, and women every day. And Juliet, and women every day, like they are. Come on, baby, don't fear the reaper. Baby, take my hand. Don't fear the reaper. You'll be able to fly. Don't fear the reaper. Baby, I'm your man. La 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 la. La 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 la. Love of two is one. Here, but now they're gone. Came the last night of sadness, and it was clear that you couldn't go on. And the door was open and the wind appeared. The candles blew, then disappeared. The curtains blew, then he appeared. Don't be afraid. Come on, baby. She had no fear. She answered him, and they started to fly. They looked backwards and said goodbye. She had become like they are. She had taken his hand. She had become like they are. Come on, baby, don't fear the reaper. You'll be able to fly. La 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 la. La 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 la.
Oh yeah. Dishes in the sink, recycling in stacks. Gloves on my hands, just finishing up tasks. Then boom, flashlights pierce through the door. Show me your hands. Face down on the floor. They pointed rifles at my mom and dad. No body cam, just boots on my back. Snipers in the trees, full on attack. But I was scrubbing pans. What the f***'s up with that? FBI, you assholes, you set me up. No knock, no warning, just a militarized bust. Coming soon, the judge's adjudication. All will see the truth at my exoneration. You knew where I slept, tracked my December, yet chose 1 a.m. to make me surrender. Said I'd flee, said I'd war, all fiction you swore. You should've knocked, I would've walked out the door. Your Lang memo's buried, your warrant's a hack. No footage exists, proof you're scared of the facts. Spied from the sky, rummage my cans, all for headlines, your hero demands. Thanks a lot, Payne, you ruined my name. Bill, Ash, and Josh went ahead with your frame. 9 days you watched, 9 days you schemed, 9 days to frame a man who just cleaned. FBI, you assholes, you set me up. No knock, no warning, just a militarized bust. Coming soon, the judge's adjudication. All will see the truth at my exoneration. Anne and Eliza, superior minds, exposing lies, all in due time. Your white car's green, real knives, your lies and defeat. Your script's crumbling, I'll walk free again. FBI assholes, this is where your game ends. FBI, you assholes, you set me up. No knock, no warning, just a militarized bust. Coming soon, the judge's adjudication. All will see the truth and my exoneration. And any Eliza, superior minds, exposing lies all in due time. Your white car's green, go ahead and compare. Siray's data proves I'm nowhere near there. Ours don't lie, we've got the receipts, the real names, real knives, your lies and defeat. Your script's crumbling, I'll walk free again. FBI assholes, this is where your game ends.
I love that song too. I love them all. And actually, I got ones I didn't even know I had that no one's heard yet. That he sent sound bites to sound wave files or whatever, and I'm gonna make some videos for him that are really, really, really good. And so I guess I didn't even know they were in there until I thought I had 26 seconds to get ready for this. Crazy day. And I do want to thank someone real quick here. Someone that sent me an email. I don't want to say their names or nothing, but this goes out to let's just say E, and I think from New York, wherever. I really appreciate that information because we've been digging into that person, and that information you gave us is crucial. Very, very crucial. I thank you very much. Let's keep that between us for now. I thank you from the bottom of my heart. Anyway, it's Mad Monday. Hello, everybody. How's everybody doing? I hope you're having a great Monday and not one of those icky ones that usually are. And let me say hi to my beautiful crime family. Sherry Urban, good to see you, girl. And Crime Spy, good to see you. The Boar, good to see you. Snow Leopard, good to see you. And if my mouse would work better, I could go faster. Crime Spy, good to see you. One of many, good to see you. Bonnie Bailey, good to see you. Rooster Possum, good to see you. Dana Craig, good to see you. Bev Marks, good to see you. Green Electric Mama Blah, good to see you. And I am well. Thank you very much. And T-Taj, good to see you. And Down the Rabbit Hole to Hell, good to see you. Julie S., good to see you. Carolyn Wood, good to see you. Yes, Free BK. Yes, and the more I learn, the more I dig into this case, and the more the investigators dig into this case, the more I want him free. Let's just put it that way. But we're working on some stuff that's gonna be some mind-blown stuff. Yeah. That email kind of made my day. And it made one of my investigators very happy also. Not that they're not swamped already. Snow Leopard, good to see you. And Debbie Gazzardo, my girl, good to see you. And where was I? Was that down there or was that up there? I'm getting lost now. Beth Marks, good to see you. Ro, good to see you. And everybody out there chatting and not chatting, thank you very much for coming to Once Upon a Crime Time, where we have fun on Mondays and get some mods up here. And I hope there's some mods that want to get up here. Grant Clarkson, good to see you. Raylene Kerr, good to see you. Yeah, so let's actually I'm gonna run. Yeah, I had something ready to go. I was gonna run right after the videos, but I'll run it now this way. Because I think it's important. And this was put out by True Crime Design, I believe. Not sure on the date because I downloaded it and I'm going to run it. I think the link is in the description. If not, it will be by the end of this. But everybody knows True Crime Design anyway. So, but this is where it came from. And yeah, I thought this was quite interesting. And then some of you mods get ready to come up because right after this video, where you want some mods up here. Okay, here we go. All right. I didn't see Randy. Where the hell's Randy on steak night? Huh? Randy, where the hell are you on steak night? You still chomping down? Anyway, here we go.
Your Honor, I made one point of clarification. It occurred to me while listening to the court talking about genetic genealogy and really that being a focus. There are a couple of other areas contained in the motion to compel that have to do with the other DNA that the state doesn't have complete discoveries to us that are included in that third motion to compel that are up for today. The big focus has been the genetic genealogy piece, but I wanted to make sure that that was still.
Well, my understanding was that the state did provide all the information about the laboratory, we'll say the laboratory DNA that analysis was not related to the genealogy DNA. Am I mistaken about that? What are you saying that they didn't provide to you?
Your Honor, in our third motion to compel, we had a section called standard lab discovery, and that has to do with other DNA profiles found at the scene. They have provided full discovery for the sheet, the DNA found on the knife sheet, but not the other 3 unidentified male DNA samples, 2 from in-house, 1 from outside of the house.
All right. So if I'm understanding your question there, or your assertion that we're talking about 3 potential analysis of DNA that was not provided to you, but that has no connection to Mr. Kogan.
Correct.
Any response?
Your Honor, we didn't realize this was going to be an issue today. We had given defense everything that we received from the lab. It asked for DNA workups on other people. To the extent that they don't have them, they weren't done. We can't produce something that doesn't exist. We provide everything. There's one outstanding lab report that relates to the forensic examination by the lab personnel of the crime scene itself. We'll be receiving today. That's the only outstanding lab report. Everything else, along with all the notes, is what there is, and it's been provided to the defense. They're hoping that there's something else there. It's not there.
Well, Your Honor, as part of our third motion to compel, it's still something that we don't have. We also don't have the unexpected corrective actions, unexpected results from the Idaho State Police Forensics Lab for the 6 months before and the 6 months after November 13th, 2022. We did get some, but it's a narrow scope, and we asked for the full year, 6 months before and 6 months after. That's also in our motion.
I understand your responsibility is to turn over every rock, but you can't get things that don't exist as well. So, I mean, there has to be some level of trust in discovery. You're all sworn attorneys. So Mr. Thompson is saying that there's one more lab report that is coming your way today, I heard him say.
Maybe not today. We are waiting to receive it so that we can process it for discovery. It's supposed to be in any time.
Okay, I misunderstood that. So it's coming soon. It has to come soon because we're 6 weeks away from the trial. So we're going to be very rushed about a lot of things that we're going to talk about.
To the extent that they don't have them, they weren't done. We can't produce something that doesn't exist. They're hoping that there's something else there. It's not there.
Yeah, I I have so much to say about that video and how they squirm around things when it comes. Why wouldn't the judge be like, wait a minute here? There's three, you know, three unidentified DNA. Well, they know now that what one is Ethan's. Why would Ethan be under Maddie's nails and Cole's? Can't remember the other one. But with Ethan's, can it be that it could be Hunter and not Ethan? I'm trying to figure out how Ethan's DNA got under Maddie's fingernails. Something isn't right. Something isn't jiving. Grant. Okay. It's because not Judge Jude. Oh, come on now. Oh, no, Grant. What's a milk toast pea? I apologize. Yeah, down that right. Yeah, crazy. Anyway, let's get some mods up here. I'm going to put the link out in chat, and please, if you're a mod, one of you mods, jump up there And I wanted to do something before I do anything else. Yes, I wanted to do something. Just give me a second. It's going to be choppy here for a minute. I'm going to do something. I'm sure I'm being all choppy on screen. Okay, hold on, and I'm just about there. Whoever's in the backstage, I heard you bop in, but I'll be right there. That's what I'm looking for, right? Oops. Oh, come on now. Where'd you go? There you go. Oh, now I got to do that. Okay. I'm getting there. I'm getting there, folks. Okay, come on, come on, come on. And let me get Terry up here real quick. Hey, Terry, how you doing, girl?
Good. How are you? How are you?
Good. Good to see you. I might be choppy right now. I'm not sure.
Okay. I'm okay. You can hear me?
I'm here double now. Okay. Just hold on a second here,
I'm fine.
Terry. I'm trying to get through something here, and I'll be right with you. It's making okay now.
You're fine.
Now I'm where I want to be anyway. I'm where I want to be. Now I just got to. Okay, where are ya? Oh, come on. Okay, I'll use this line, Terry. Must be my old age.
I've got glasses on, so I can't see a thing even with those on.
Yeah, and what I want to do is I want to welcome Mr. Delby Rush as a new moderator.
Yay, Delby!
Hey, Delby, brother, you are now a moderator at Once Upon a Crime Time.
I love Delby!
And it's Mod Monday, so you also want to jump up here? I do have something that is going to be pretty good to look at. There is the
You can't.
The link. And yeah, so anyway, how you been doing, girlie? I haven't talked to you for a while.
I'm good. I'm doing good.
Oh yeah, good. Yeah. I haven't seen you for a while. Have you been on Rory's channel over there?
Oh well, I mean, yeah, our channel we were on yesterday.
Is it gone?
No, we were on yesterday.
Were you on yesterday? I seen were you? Oh, okay.
Yeah, we go on it. We changed our time. Now we go
there's
on.
A link.
We go on at 5 Eastern on Sundays now. Instead of 9
Eastern, which should be
your time.
Okay,
you're
confusing me now.
Well, I'm in Ohio, so
I don't
know.
I'd be the same as you, I think.
Yeah, I think so. You're 8:30 right now. Is it 8:30 there?
Nope. I'm 7:30.
Okay, so I am an hour before you, or after you. Sorry.
Okay, right. Okay, and Delby, once you come on and jump on up, I'm sending out a link. Yeah, and yeah, I've been kind of doing a lot of digging lately, and it's this case is Just call the fucking White Jackets.
Oh, seriously, you are not lying.
Oh my God! I mean, it's just.
I always send you stuff though. Now that we don't have that "Thou shalt not kill," I send you as much stuff as I can dig when I see something.
Right, and there's Surviving the Truth's link right there that Debbie's got there, and that's a awesome trafficking channel.
Yeah. Birdie's going to be on our show.
Oh, is he? Oh, okay, cool. And when is that?
I don't know. He just answered me back that he would like to. I think we're also going to have Outcast on. We've got
who?
Outcast. He was on your show.
Oh, Outcast. Yeah.
And then also we have. I just got. His name is Doug Billings. He's on the right side. That's the name of his podcast, and he's like 7th largest podcast, but he is running for governor for Kansas. So
okay,
whatever we can do,
something like that. I want to introduce Delby to the stage. Hey, Mr. Rush. What a rush! What a rush!
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for making me a mod.
How you doing, brother?
I'm doing real well, actually. Thanks. Yeah,
good.
Better now. This is great. To be a mod is great.
You,
I begged him if he would.
I thank you. I thank you.
Or the Browns. I'm sorry. He likes the Browns, and I said, "Can you please get draft Taylor Swift?"
Well, it's not really. When you're a Browns fan, it's only because you were raised in Cleveland.
I know. I was raised in Kansas City, so I'm the Chiefs all the way, baby.
And you just can't do anything about it.
And we don't have hockey in Kansas City, so Red Wings.
Oh. Huh.
Well, I don't have much to say when I'm a Vikings fan. You know what I'm saying? 4 Super Bowls and 0-4.
Yeah.
Oh, they were 0-4? Wow.
Yeah, we're 0-4. Yep.
Oh, that's hard to believe.
Chiefs, the Steelers, the Raiders, and the Dolphins.
Wow.
Not in that order. Right. Yeah. But
I don't,
hey,
I'm not an anti-Steelers fan, but I'm not an because I mean.
Anti what?
Well, you know how like the Browns and the Steelers are so competitive, and since I'm not a true Browns fan, I care less.
Same division. That's why. Yeah, that's like us and the Packers.
Yeah, that's like us and the Broncos.
Right. Well, did you guys watch that video?
I did. I watched some of it. I'm not gonna lie. I had to go. I got yelled at and told I had to fold my clothes. So right.
Yeah, I
hurried. Did you get a chance, Toby?
I got here a little late. I did see some of it. That's stuff that we talked about before. I'm pretty sure on your show.
Right. Yeah.
Now
what do you think of this shit, and as those 3 unidentified, right? So you have one on the hand railing, right? You have one on the hand railing. Are they talking that the other 2 are the ones under the fingernails, or is there more in the house? That's what I guess I don't get that. I didn't. I have to go back and look, and
I don't understand. That's the one of the. Well, that's not the only thing I don't understand about this case, but what I don't understand is why they didn't put they found those 3 right away, right? And they waited. They didn't do anything with it, and then
remember
he didn't put the other 3 in because he didn't want to lose the information from. And I'm like, how can that possibly happen? Hopefully, we're at a place that you're not going to lose information.
Yeah, but yet they can take a minuscule amount, right, off of a sheet and send it to 3 labs. And end up with more DNA.
Yeah. Let's grow it.
I wonder if they can do that with money.
Yeah, no doubt.
It's amazing. Yeah, that part.
Well, that's what I was thinking, Dana. They're saying it's Ethan's DNA, and I'm wondering how that. And I'm even wondering if that's his twin, to tell you the truth. But I don't even want to go there right now. But let's say it is his twin. Actually, a triplet, right? I wonder how much difference there is in DNA, right? There has to be a difference, but I mean, I'm wondering how much difference
Well, I mean,
there is.
if she had long fingernails and they live in the same house,
It could happen.
I mean, those girls have really long fingernails, right? I mean, I don't understand.
Right.
Well, I think Noel had a good point that, it could have been that jacket. If it was Ethan's or Hunter's jacket that Maddie was wearing, the black one, and it probably could have fit, Hunter more, Hunter Johnson, Hunter Ethan's Chapin.
Oh yeah, Hunter Chapin. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, that could be, I suppose, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, we don't know whose coat that is. We really don't know where that coat came from. It's not Maddie's. There's no way in hell it's Maddie's.
I don't
No,
I mean,
Betty's ball was that day, and if you you see Ethan's wearing a jacket, and then later on you see him in the Simakai house in a room, and he's not wearing a jacket. So I wonder if that was his jacket.
Did it look like it?
Could be, but
Same color.
And
Because
where did you see
look
this?
like a little bit
And
of
it was this. Yeah, maybe that's what we need to do is go looking at pictures, all over the place for Ethan's coat and see what he's wearing.
Yeah, him and his brother.
Actually, you know what? That would be a good thing to do. Go looking at everybody's. Like, did Showalter borrow it to her that night or something? Or did JD?
Maybe Adam Lauda? Yeah.
Maybe Adam. Oh, that very well could be, actually, because she was talking to him right before they left, right? Not long before they left, in a way. Yeah.
But it
probably wasn't.
It looked like
it might not have been cold when they left. What's
might
that,
not
Terry?
have been what?
It looked like a blazer. Like a nicer
blazer?
coat. Like a nicer jacket, not just like some coat.
No, it's just one of those longer black coats. I got a couple of them. But yeah, they're nice. Yeah, they're nice. Yeah. Mine are actually nicer than that one.
I would imagine at 10 p.m. when they left home, they didn't need anything for warmth. And then at 1:30, by the time they left Corner Club, probably somebody said to her, "Hey, it's gotten really cold out here. Take my jacket."
Yeah, that could be.
I think she was wearing a halter top.
Well, then definitely would want to wear a coat, right? Yeah.
Right.
I kind of wondered what, I never really looked to see what they were wearing underneath the coats. Did you guys look underneath, like under the coat, to see what they were wearing? What Maddie was wearing? We should have done that to all of them, really. What's that, Terry?
No.
Maddie was wearing, if I remember, a pink halter.
A pink halter?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I think so.
All right. So it isn't the same clothes that they were wearing during that pic, right? Because she's not wearing a pink halter there. So they apparently changed before they went out to the club.
Yeah. Well, I think that picture was taken like on Thursday. I don't think that picture was taken Saturday.
Oh, I always heard it was that same day. That's what I always heard.
I think it was.
But
I gotta hop off here for 2 or 3 minutes. I have to just mute. I'm gonna mute myself for 2 or 3 minutes.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead, Delby. Yep. I'm gonna run a video here pretty quick anyway. So
okay.
Oh, but, yeah, actually, I want him up for that. What am I doing here now? Okay, I want to X that out. Oops, dang it. There we go. All right, I think I'm set up for it in a way. Well, that's exciting news on Surviving the Truth channel, girl.
Thank you.
Terry?
Yeah, I'm
that's
ready.
exciting news. Yeah.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
you just don't have the dates down, but
no, I just don't have the exact dates down. Hopefully Outcast can do this Sunday. Here's the thing is that as creators, YouTube is really sicking it, giving us a stranglehold and shadow banning and doing all that. And
I know they are. I know they are. And I feel bad about that. It's like, I can't believe that how they treat the trafficking.
It's horrible.
I guess you're not even really supposed to say that word.
No. And so,
but I guess they treat the trafficking channels really shitty,
which is horrible. And
it is. Yeah.
So what I hope everybody kind of feels the way I do. I'm tired of hearing people fight on the YouTube streets. We're all creators. We're all here to bring information and help each other. I mean, we shouldn't be going against each other, right? And that way we can expand our reach if we help each other.
But I did see that you guys got, I think it was not last night's video, but the one before, I think you got like close to 8,000 views, or maybe you're over that now.
Yeah, we're like we got like 8,500. We're at we're like at 4,350 subs now.
Well, then it's growing, and it's growing. It's going the right direction, I think. There for a while, it was pretty bleak there for a little while. I know
that a platform like YouTube is so hard on something that's so incredibly important.
It's so important. I know, very, very important. I do want to look at this question. Didn't the Banfield guys walk right past that hydrant before Ellie approached them? Wasn't Ellie parked near the hydrant? They were parked right in front of that hydrant. I'm pretty sure. I may be mistaken. But did the Banfield guys, did they come from that direction? Or did they come from the field, from
they were walking like towards they were like walking, well, once they got on the field, and they were like walking away from, because
I think they changed directions, didn't they? They changed directions.
And I'm wondering if you listen to Rosie when they pull the car up, he gets out and he says, just stay in here. I'll be back. And for the longest time, I was like, why would you tell your other officers to say, someone is going
is that you, Terry?
No.
Terry. Oh, Delby, what you doing, bro? Yeah,
I'm finished. I was down here. Okay. I was running to the store for my neighbor, and I just had to go in and get his stuff real quick.
Oh,
no, but I mean, so Rosie said when they pulled up, the car pulled up real quick, and Rosie, as he was getting out to go chase those three guys, said, "You just stay here. I'll be back." And I thought that was odd. Why would you tell your partner to stay in the police car? And that's why, and then I started to think, you know what? Because he didn't stay there. He got out, right? And he came.
Right. Yeah, he did get out. Yeah.
And like literally all of a sudden, Saeed just like is there, right there. And like, where did he come from?
And it just came out of nowhere.
And it's like, was he in the back seat of the car? And is that who Rosie was talking
to? Oh, boy.
That's, I never heard that before.
I never heard that one before either. But he does kind of jump out at you.
Yeah. It's
He's
like
just
right
all of a
there,
sudden there.
and
Yeah.
he's like right there in the face.
You can't really see where he came from. It doesn't seem like he. It seems like he would have been with the other ones if he was coming the same way from the same place as them.
Exactly. I don't know. That just was weird. So I don't know. But then
Right.
what's not? Just add that to the list of weird.
Well, yeah, there's a few things about the Banfield that haven't been really looked into yet. Like, that's one that's a good one to pursue. And then the Forerunners, what are they carrying? Is something very suspicious to me. Why they're running like that and with they're carrying stuff. And then and it seems like there's another group of them after that, like at
Yeah,
316 something.
There's 8 of them all together. Yeah.
Yeah, there were other guys
Okay.
walking on Banfield while this was happening.
But
Yeah.
why were those runners? They go right in front of the other police officer with the flashlight, and what the cop with the flashlight didn't see them.
Didn't even look over at him. I mean, they had to hear him and see him out of their periphery,
And you
especially
know
their
what?
cop.
Right. And here, another thing I thought of. Here's this cop holding a flashlight, right? And these
Yeah.
kids are running by. You would think he would follow them a little bit. He doesn't move the flashlight. He keeps it on. He keeps it on.
But let me ask you a
Know what I
question.
mean?
If you,
Oh yeah. Yeah, he doesn't change anything. He's just
It doesn't change anything.
he's
Yeah, nothing
undercover
about
in
it.
an undercover car, and it's what close. It's like between 2:30 and 3, supposedly in the morning. And if I saw some guy chasing after me, I'd be like, hauling butt. I'd be like, who is this person?
I just have to say about Banfield, about Rosendahl and Tesdahl, that I'm beyond. I mean, I'm beyond any question about them. They're involved. Whether
God.
if it's, but it could be. There's still a possibility that this was an extraction. There's a possibility that they're trying to take care of something bad happened, and they're there trying to not let it get worse. I'm not saying that they did anything bad necessarily, but whatever happened at 11:22, they're definitely there for that, and they had to be ready for it pretty early because they can't get dressed up. And I hate when people call them dressed in plain clothes. That's anything but plain clothes.
Right.
Yeah, they're definitely ready for action.
Tisa was
And
dressed.
so they
Carolyn, that. Go ahead, Dobby. Dalby?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So yeah, definitely. I think that there's not really any way around them not being involved. I don't see any way they could be there and not have something to do with it. And everything that I looked up, I was asking AI some questions, and you have to kind of do it. You have to be a little strategic with AI, or it just gives you back what you thinks you want. But it was telling me that piece of equipment on the back seat very likely could be either the sublethal weapon, like a beanbag gun, or it could be a Stingray communications equipment. Those are the two things that it mainly would be. I also asked it about being a movie camera, and it said, yeah, that's possible, but the other two were more. The first two, you definitely they would want to have as like a first responders to something serious, because they need to be ready for whatever this thing blows up into. So that piece of equipment, if we could identify that. I mean, I've been trying, but I don't know. I'm kind of new at that. I never really had to do it before.
I've done that too, but I wonder if we couldn't look up like Stingray case or something. Oh, that's really loud. And Carolyn, you said that you would think that he checked them out. That's the problem, is that they didn't. that cop stayed right there with the flashlight, and the other was it Rosie was asking the kids something or whatever, right? There,
Yeah.
I think there was two. Was there two LEs in the Banfield at one time? I think there was, right?
Yes.
If I remember
Rosie and
right.
Tito.
Yes. Yeah. So there was nobody that checked those kids out. They didn't even move the flashlight like this to see what they were doing. They just let them run right by. And yet they pull over those kids that weren't, and they didn't even have it. Did they even have a drink? Did they have any liquor on them?
No, they didn't.
No.
But
what did they write them up for? What did they write them up for?
well, they kept saying that they were drunk, and they're like, "Well, no, we haven't been drinking," and they didn't seem drunk, and Rosie kept saying, "Oh, come on, guys, come on, guys, you've been drinking."
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, I remember that now. And didn't they finally break down and said, "Oh, I had one or two or something like that"? Is that what they wrote him up on? Is their word saying that I had a couple?
Yeah.
No, he got them to agree to 6 to 8 drinks.
Yeah.
He raised it up.
Oh, right. You're right, Delby. You're right.
One even said that he
still,
hadn't been drinking.
And then I heard they pled guilty.
I heard it was thrown out. They were all thrown out.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
I got to check.
There
on
are
that. I have to check on that.
Well, there is no breathalyzer. I don't see how I don't even know if the court would allow them to plead guilty because there's no evidence.
That's what?
Yeah. Why would they even see? And that's another suspicious thing. Why would LE even write them up?
Well, I mean,
there's
would
no
they
evidence.
prefer to drive? Would they prefer they were drunk and driving? I mean, I don't get it.
No, they weren't.
I don't think there's anything to get. I think it's just part of the ruse. They're doing something secretive, nefarious, in my opinion, and it's all part of it. Like when there's exactly what you said, Tommy, is probably maybe even the most important part of the whole thing, is that they had that look that they were intentionally not looking at those people carrying that stuff, because they were right by the police car.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
If you look at their body,
right by it. Yeah, I mean, they were. I don't think a lot of people realize how close those runners were, because it looks like it's far away. It almost looks like it's the moon, like the light is the moon, but it's not. It's a flashlight, and they're right behind the police car.
Yeah, it's not possible for anybody. Your peripheral, the security for your life, especially a police officer, you're not going to be able to ignore that unless you do it intentionally. Your head's going to swivel and look at that.
You would think, right?
At 2:30 in the morning,
kids run by you, and you don't hear them say anything like, "Hey, what are you kids doing?" or anything like that. There's nothing.
Nope.
No, that was safe passage. They were providing safe passage for them, in my opinion.
They were providing a safe passage.
Yeah,
right.
It's a security. They were there doing security detail.
Oh my God! Then that goes right back to Extraction, dude.
Yeah,
it does. It does. It actually.
It really does.
I have decision trees. Oh, I have decision trees that I'm trying to use to run both at the same time, because the extraction makes more sense actually.
It really does.
It does.
And there is a black box there.
What's that?
Did you see the black box? There is a black box, like right in front of the cop car. The light's shining on it. You can see it in some videos. And I thought I don't know what a stingray looks like or whatever, but I don't know what that looks like.
I don't think that was anything to do with it. I think maybe those frats put down a cooler or something, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe it was their cooler. No, a stingray is a whole different. I think if there was a stingray in operation, it would have been either at the police station with Payne running it, or somewhere nearby.
Right. Critical is saying it wasn't a flashlight. Well, then tell us what it was, because I'm pretty sure that's what it was, wasn't it? Wasn't it a flashlight? Wasn't it?
It was like a light in a building or something. I don't know. You can't really figure it out. Yeah, it's just it was a stationary light, part of some building or something. I can't tell.
Then it must have been down the street a ways then, right?
Well, it could have been headlights. of the
The
car.
light that lights up their heads is kind of far away.
Okay.
But the light from the flashlight that you're talking about, Tommy, that's lighting up their bodies, like
Yeah.
you know, their shoulders down. Yeah, that's the flashlight, and that's why it's so hard to tell that there's another group, because when that other group comes, it looks smoky from
It
the
sure
flashlight.
does.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
But there's no
Yeah, 'cause
reason for anything to look smoky, so it's definitely, and they're carrying stuff too.
right. Smoky. Talking about smoky. Are you guys experiencing any smoke?
No, you're not smoking tonight.
Ask.
You're not smoking
I
tonight.
got my smoking
Oh,
what? No, I'm doing this Zoom loon.
What's that?
No, but but there's smoke all over outside from Canada. I mean, it is thick. I mean,
oh,
like,
again.
yeah, I can see like a half a mile on the highway. I mean, it is.
Oh, I
thick.
haven't gotten that yet.
Yeah,
It's really
I haven't seen
crazy. Let me see what some of these people are saying here. Well, I always thought it was like the moon at first. I wasn't even paying attention, and then I figured out, no, it has to be the flashlight.
It's kind of far
Because-
away. Yeah.
Yeah, because it seems farther away. But then I thought, well, then it's got to be, it has to be the flashlight the police is shining.
Oh yeah, for
And,
sure.
Because I thought it was too far to the left to be like a house or something, unless there's a curve or something in that road. I'd have to go look. But
There's really nothing there. I looked because I was trying to find out where that car disappeared to. It looks like it picks them up or picks up the stuff they're carrying. You know who a good video to watch for that is Jeff H has that dual body cam video where he's got them side by side, each officer's body cam side by side. And I use that. That is the best way for me to keep track of what's going on.
Don't.
okay.
Huh.
So, and you can tell it's not a flashlight then, or
No, it is. I say it's a flashlight lighting up their body, but the light behind them that you see their heads against it. It's not lighting up their heads. It's just the contrast that when their heads go by that light, that's how they first got noticed, because it's easier to see. But then after you look at it a few
is that
times,
like a house light?
yeah, it was like a house or something. I don't remember it. It wasn't anything that seemed to matter to me, but
Garage light, maybe, or something like that. Well, thanks for the info there, Critical, because I've been thinking that's been a flashlight all this time. But they were really close to the vehicle. They're a lot closer than people realize.
Well, it's a flashlight for the bodies, to see the bodies. The light where you see their head, that's in the distance.
You're right. That's the one I'm talking about.
Okay, yeah, the distant one is, I don't know what that is. It was a house or something, but the other one's more important because you can't see that much in that top part. It does look like.
But if it wasn't for that light, that garage light or house light or whatever it is, we wouldn't even seen those kids.
Exactly. Yeah. And they were right there. They were right there.
Right there. And right behind the cop car.
Not even a stone's throw away.
They had to have seen him. They had to.
I know people could hit him with a pool cue from there.
Right. Yeah. It was right behind the car.
Oh, I was watching something that Outcast had put out today, and it was just real brief, but I think he got it from Jeff H. But he, the clock that is right there that you can hear the clock chimes.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, so he shows the when they're on Banfield, you can't hear the clock chiming. But at the same time, if you're looking at the time frame, right, at the top, the timestamp from Linda Lane, you can hear it chime 3 times. Exact same time. So
yeah, you could actually hear him on
somebody's fudging the timestamp.
At 2:00 too.
Yeah, somebody's fudging the timestamp because there's no way you can hear that clock. only on one. I mean, you should be able to hear
I
that.
thought I've heard it on Banfield before. I thought I heard it on Banfield before.
Yeah, and you can't hear it.
I thought I could hear it on Banfield. I thought I've compared them before, but maybe I'm wrong. But maybe I'm thinking of something else. Have you heard it on Banfield, Del?
I haven't looked into that much detail. I've been working on the bigger picture and trying to figure out a way to, I've never done this before with true crime, and I'm trying to figure out how do you approach something like this when so much is missing and there's so much lying. It's so obvious. The court's a sham. It's a sham pretrial, and I'm even wondering if maybe they're never going to have the trial, and in the pretrial stuff, if everybody just shake hands and goes home, then maybe it doesn't break any big laws or anything. I don't know. I don't know what they're doing. They're
right.
Whoever's behind it all, though, is a master. Like they're like at the level of the CIA or like a cult leader, an experienced cult leader, a big one.
Yeah.
Because they've got this thing tied up so that you can, all the new evidence we get, which is old evidence, I guess, but it none of it clarifies any of the different narratives that people have going. Like you get something new and it still fits everything. It doesn't eliminate. We should be able to eliminate a lot of people by now, you'd think.
You would think, and we're digging into some stuff right now that is really, really gonzo, man. I mean, just crazy, and there's some liars out there. That's all I'm gonna say. There's some liars out there.
Yeah.
So anyway, let me see what else is being said here. I got lost in this here. Okay. Wi-Fi down, no campus camp on that night. Yeah, that was another strange thing too. Of course, their cameras are down and shit, and the Wi-Fi was down, and you would think they would do that on a Sunday night, not a Saturday night, or like a Monday.
They would not have done that. They definitely would not have turned that off. That was there's two things that there's four things that convinced me this was an operation. Whether it was a good one or a bad, for good or for bad, I don't know. But
right.
Yeah, so you had the two cops and the things they did on Taylor Avenue, Banfield, and at the same time you have that the college's internet is turned off, which never, I worked in wide area networking. You would never, like somebody would be fired so fast, or they would call somebody in to fix that. Especially when you got the football game, you got all these people in town. That's all your security cameras and everything. You got to have that.
They said it was like regular maintenance that they do once a month.
Well, who said that, Viviana? I mean,
oh God.
Titties.
Yeah. That's not. They would never do that. And the police, don't forget. See, this is important. Oh, well, let me tell you the other two things. So 4 things: the Banfield cops, the internet being turned off, disabled, and then also when you look at what happened at the house, it's 100% permissive. What they would call in rural warfare or urban warfare, when you're going into a residential area, they would call. There's always a question about the people who are there, like in the house and around the house. Are they going to be trying to stop you, or are they going to just let you do whatever you want, or are they going to help you? And this was 100% permissive. Nobody tried to stop anything. It's the opposite. Everybody's trying. They were helping. Whoever did this has got a lot of help. And then the other thing is the asymmetry of the attack. It's 100% asymmetric. It's everything that happened against MKXE. Nothing happened for them. So it's so one-sided. That's just not real life.
No, it isn't. you know, not that many things, not, you know,
Right.
because there's many things.
A lot.
Almost like yeah, almost like the cogs turning around, and if you got just one of those pieces missing, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah,
And
yeah.
all of them fit, not for the victims, but against them.
I just don't think those girls were there. I don't know. I just, that's my opinion.
You
You
think
still think what?
I don't think that Dylan and Bethany were there.
Hmm.
I just don't. That's just my opinion.
They might not have been, but at this point, it really doesn't matter.
And that very
Well, that's the thing. I mean, once something new comes out, you know, it's like everybody forgets what was being said the day before. I mean, not us, but
right.
everybody else.
So this timeline, you know, and I've been saying this all along, and other people are now agreeing after they do a bunch of listening and stuff, that Ethan and Zana went down between 2:20 and 2:30. Now let's look. What was the exact time that Kaylee started calling JD? Wasn't it
Like right around
2:26 or
that
something?
time. Yeah, oh yeah.
Wasn't it 2:26?
Yeah.
So during this time that I said way back between 2:20 and 2:30, all of a sudden Kaylee's calling JD 10 freaking times before 2:56. And I don't think it was Maddie calling on Maddie's phone. I really, in my own opinion, I think it was Kaylee trying in distress, trying to get a hold of Jack, and he wouldn't answer. So she grabbed Kaylee or Maddie's phone, who was passed out, and tried using Maddie's phone to see if he'd answer. That's what I think went down, but you know, who knows? Yeah, it was at 2:56. Yeah, and all of this is going on. I mean, this is just crazy. The body cams went on at 2:56 a.m. The same time the phone calls stopped.
Yeah. Yeah.
We'll
And what happened at 2:53, I think it was when Maddie tried to call Bethany, and then a minute later, Jenna McClure posts that picture, the middle fingers, and look who's in the picture. It's Bethany and Josie Lout, and you know that Cirilla. Claire Cirillo is in it, and
Right.
that Claire Cirillo, you know, so they're all people who are very familiar. I'm only familiar with her because she got that tattoo with Dylan, but otherwise they're all, and I do wonder sometimes about that Cirillo. She seems older than all the rest of them.
Which one is she?
She's the one that got the tattoo with the Dylan got. You know that picture where they're flipping their fingers up?
Yeah.
She's the one in the middle that's really giving the camera a mean look.
Oh.
Right.
And I've seen her in other pictures, and she just looks older.
Too many weird things. Too many weird things. And yes, there was a 911 call made at 3:01 from the Banfield or a house by the Banfield or something. Yes, there was. And that's another strange thing too. And it's not listed.
At first, it was moved in the logbook. Remember, it was scratched out and put in later.
Yeah.
Well, if there was a 911 call at around that area at 3:01, Rosie was right there in Teasdale. They were right there. If the timestamps, that goes back to that's weird that the bells rang at 3:00 on Linda Lane with the timestamp, but you couldn't hear the bells ring.
I'll have
And
to listen to that again. I'll have to listen to the Banfield again because I could have swore I heard it there.
yeah,
But
he just put it out today.
huh?
He just put it out today.
Up today, yeah. I got the original video. I'm gonna make sure it's original video. And WB here, isn't Jenna McClear studying criminology also? That I don't know.
Yeah, she did. She did.
She did. All right.
Yeah, she's. I think now she's Bethany Funk's sister-in-law.
Oh, okay. They're very.
Okay. Oh, right. Yeah. You're right. Yep.
But yeah, she was studying criminology because, I mean, I don't think a 4-year degree in criminology is going to help you get out of anything like that. I mean, that's beyond that scene.
Right,
If somebody, if somebody cleaned that up, it was somebody who really knew what they were doing. You know, I mean,
well, I think there's some of those people involved in this. I do believe there's some people involved who really knew what they were doing. And
there had to be. You're right. I agree. Yeah,
including cleanup.
Oh, definitely especially cleanup. It's one thing to, it's almost impossible to stay alive in this world. So it's not hard, to end that for somebody. it's easy and so it's easy to do that, to maybe not the actual physical aspect of it in the house with 4 people. I don't think one person can do it. But what I'm saying is that cleaning up is the hard part and getting away with it. That's
the cleaning would take the longest.
Yeah, because they did a good job, it sounds like.
Yeah, they must have. Yeah.
So
but then when you have LE that doesn't actually report everything.
Yeah.
Like 3 unidentified DNAs. I bet there's a lot more than 3. After a house party there the night before with 100 and some people there, 150 people.
That's my question. What
exactly? And there's only 3 unidentified. Either they're lying sacks of shit. Either they're lying sacks of shit.
Define unidentified.
It was cleaned up.
What does unidentified mean when we're talking DNA in that house?
That they don't know who it is.
It means they didn't do anything with it.
Yeah.
They didn't even try to find out who it, because if they did, they would say it was unidentified by these tests. It was not. It was unidentified by, whatever they use, whatever labs or whatever. They wouldn't just say unidentified.
Yeah,
I don't think.
Well, I
but
mean, they knew they were male.
Terry, I think you and I have the same speaking pattern, same rhythm.
Yeah. Okay, you go. You go. I've shut up.
I was just going to say that
the house was pretty messy, sweet and salty. And then, I mean, we heard about that from like Dave. What the hell?
Uh-oh, they're coming for me.
Oh, yeah. Okay, let me mute you here for a second.
Yeah, thanks.
Okay. they're after Delby.
No.
Okay, well, this will be a good time to run this because this is a really good video and it's from somebody I didn't know. I found it and I think it got like 48 views or something when I looked at it. And it was like, wow. And it brings out different points and that's what I like to, different looks. Let me see if Delby's back up and running. Nope. He still has that going on. Okay, so I'm going to share this real quick.
Okay.
Actually it's 25 minutes long and I kind of want to run it. So but we're going to be stopping it because there's going to be some stuff to talk about, no doubt about it. And here we go. And this is called the Ghost Knife Sheath.
Okay.
And it's by Around True Crimes. It was put up a day ago and only has 59 views. After you guys see this video, I have a feeling they're going to get some more subs. This is pretty good.
Okay, cool.
Okay, here we go.
This content is created based on my unprofessional opinion and an analysis of related topics for social communication purposes.
Fullest. I'm so honored and happy to have your attention. Before starting today's video, I want to emphasize the importance of this video. Therefore, I would like to request that you kindly pay particular attention to it, please. I strongly request that you please like or share this video due to the critical points it contains, and let it be viewed by more people. Now let's get into it. Recently, the Goncalves family has done a few interviews with some channels, especially with the Drunk Turkey show, in which some noticeable points have stood out to me, which I am going.
And by the way, not just the Drunk Turkey show. Tell me Steve isn't drunk. Watch
Oh,
it.
he's got something going on.
Is low. He's smashed. Yeah, he's definitely got something going on. He is like smashed or something.
Yeah.
Well, it's
Going
not
to
the
share
only
my
thing
reaction to them in this video. Let's begin with the crucial focus of the case, the knife sheath. As all of us know, and it has been proved to us, that the state side couldn't find any strong evidence against Brian Kohberger yet. But the only fabricated proof they have tried to feed the public mind with has been the ghost knife sheath. Yes, you heard it correctly, the ghost knife sheath. Don't be confused. I'm going to explain why I have used this term a little further. But first, I need to share something with you. At one point in the past, while I was preparing for the TOEFL test, I came across the term ghost word in one of the books I was reading. A ghost word refers to words that do not actually exist in real usage. These words often arise from typographical errors, misreadings, misinterpretations, or other mistakes that occur during the compilation of dictionaries. Over time, by being repeatedly used, they may be mistakenly recognized as real and standalone words, despite having no legitimate root in the language construction. The story is that in the 1930s, in one of the editions of Webster's dictionary, the word dord was mistakenly printed as if it were a real word, referring to density in chemistry and physics. But in fact, it was just the result of typographical error, which was supposed to be considered D or D, referring to letter D in capital form or lowercase form used as a symbol for density. But maybe due to a missing needed space between the mentioned letters during typesetting, it was misread as dord, and due to the power of repetition, it found its way into dictionaries and mistakenly treated as a standalone word. Now you might be wondering what this has to do with the Idaho 4 case or with the knife sheath. Well, let me tell you. You see how repetition can give existence to something that has never existed in the first place at all. Constant repetition can dull human awareness, leading people to become desensitized over time. As a result, they struggle to distinguish between what is true and what is false, and they may not even question something's existence or origin. Consequently, the mind accepts information without resistance. I think similarly, there hasn't been any physical knife sheath left at the murder scene in the first place, and this imaginary evidence has been the result of a dirty mind game by the prosecutors with the public at the beginning, which in continuation found the chance of being repeated by the mainstream media with no obstacle or interruption by the help of the gag order, and became fixated in public mind as an accepted evidence left at the crime scene in the end. In fact, the gag order created conditions in which one side, which was the prosecutors, was able to force-feed their fabricated version of reality into the public mind, while the public was prevented from investigating or challenging that narrative under the same excuse of the gag order. Therefore, in my speculation...
Sound familiar?
Yeah.
I mean, this hits it on the head pretty good. Keep listening to this. It really brings up some different points.
The ghost knife sheath was non-existent evidence that the state side gave it an unreal existence and planted it in the public mind. In my opinion, the ghost knife sheath couldn't have been planted at the crime scene due to several reasons, which I will share with you my reasoning in continuation, and the only place it was possible to be planted was in the public imagination. This is why I use the term ghost knife sheath. Now you might be curious about how I reached this conclusion, so let me break it down for you. As we know, the first time the MPD spoke about the knife sheath was in the PCA, and not the first days or weeks after the crime. Have you ever thought about the reason? This was while a public announcement was made about the white Elantra, or the traffic stop of Brian and his...
Yeah, so why wasn't the knife sheath mentioned until January 5th?
You're right.
I mean, I know why they're going to say. I know what they're going to say. They're going to say, you know, the same things that Roger was saying and Fry. We're not wanting to give anything away, you know, to the culprit that we know, you know, like we know it was a K-bar or whatever. That's what they'll say or said, but
yeah, I don't know if that'll fly the way it was set up, though, and underneath Maddie.
Right.
No, wait,
yeah, let's keep listening to this.
I thought that the PCA was filed the 29th of December.
No, it wasn't until he got home to Idaho.
But it was filed
Wasn't
the 29th. Now, I don't know. Maybe
it might have been.
Maybe the public didn't see it.
No, I think it was January 5th.
It was like the day before they arrested him. I remember people talking about.
Was it? Oh, it was.
People,
okay.
Well, I know. Well, people were talking about.
How did they word this? Go ahead, Del.
People were talking about maybe he was arrested before the PCA was signed because of the time differences and stuff. I didn't follow it up because I don't really get involved in. I don't pursue stuff like that. It's too much detail for me. But that's why I think it was around that time. That could be completely wrong. I don't know. So
I'm positive that it was filed the 29th.
Yeah, what's that?
I'm positive it was filed the 29th of December. They
when
had
was he arrested?
How they word this here. Let's listen to how they word this.
Ghost knife sheath. Now you might be curious about how I reached this conclusion, so let me break it down for you. As we know, the first time the MPD spoke about the knife sheath was in the PCA, and not the first days or weeks after the crime. Have you ever thought about the reason? This was while a public announcement was made about the white Elantra, or the traffic stop of Brian and his father on their way to Pennsylvania. And even Brian's arrest had all occurred before the public claim that a knife sheath had been discovered. A claim which, to me...
The public claim. Yeah, they might have filed it on the 29th, but it doesn't come up. You know, it's just like when you look now on anything that's filed, it'll say on the 14th, but it doesn't go get into the public page until later. So I think that's probably what they're saying. So it's not in the public eye until January 5th.
Gotcha.
Me was never based on actual evidence. Please pay attention to this part.
We knew about the sheath before it ever came forward.
The sheets. Listen to this guy, man.
We knew about the white car day one.
Did you notice the point? Let me play it once more.
We knew about this the sheath before it ever came forward. We knew about the white car day one. Day one.
He emphasized they knew about the white car day one. However, they learned about the knife sheath before it came out. But why? By the way, how long before it came out? Why wasn't he informed about the knife sheath at the same time he informed about the white Elantra? Wasn't the knife sheath an integral part of the crime scene? Its connection to the crime is far more direct than that of the white Elantra. Let's see just how long Steve Goncalves' family had no idea about the ghost knife sheath.
5 weeks into that investigation, there's still limited answers for these families and the community of Moscow. KXLY's Jordan Smith joins us in the studio now with the latest on the investigation and more from the victims' families.
Well, Kirsten, 16,000 tips, over 250 interviews and closure for these victims' families as the holidays approach.
We're struggling.
The past 5 weeks have been excruciating for Steve Goncalves and his family.
But we have a lot of people around us that are there for us and helping us and giving us some support. We'll make it through. We have to.
Along with those of Ethan, Maddie, and Xana, all of whom preparing for their first winter holidays since their children were murdered back in November.
Given the frustrations here in the timeline and 5 weeks without, a lot of public progress, right, at least that we're aware of. Steve, have you learned anything new that's given you new hope that they're making progress, or at least they're getting closer?
I'm glad that they're reaching out and they're asking for the community to look for this car. I think I didn't think it was in that town anymore, so they can only work in that county. So sometimes you got to reach out.
And Shannon, how about from your perspective, either the Moscow police or who have you expressed your doubts about, or the FBI? In any communications, as a lawyer representing the family, have you learned anything recently that gives you confidence that there's been some progress?
Well, I think Steve and I both, the family, feel like the community is going to solve this crime. And I think the more that they ask the community to help and reach out to them,
we are going to.
I think the better the investigation will move forward. And that's why some of our questions in the past have been not reaching out to the community, I think, soon enough. So hopefully moving forward, they'll be able to get the resources that they need and move forward and solve this crime. So,
Steve, finally, do you believe they will find your daughter's killer?
Yes, I have to. I couldn't sleep if I thought. I'm trying to do everything in my power to help them, and we're trying to collaborate with them.
As it is apparent, still after 5 weeks, the family didn't know about the ghost knife sheath. Otherwise, if they were aware of it, then why should they ask the public for help? The most important evidence, as they claim, has been the ghost knife sheath, which the state manipulatively managed to play a mind game with the public by creating a vicious circle with several items that, on one side, the ghost knife sheath reinforces the other items. On the other side, the rest of the alleged evidence keeps the stability of the unreal knife sheath to remain in the case, like this picture, in which I have shown a balloon-like knife sheath in the middle that has been fastened to other alleged evidence. These two sides help each other to keep the public's mind on them and to be attached to the state's narrative of the case. But dear viewers, I don't buy it at all, and in continuation, I give you other reasoning to disapprove even the possibility of a knife sheath being left at the crime scene. Wasn't it supposed that the existence of the knife sheath, if it were real, to be received by them sooner? How many times the Goncalves family showed their concerns about the case being cold? Why cold, if from day one, the LE had access to the knife sheath conveying DNA trace, the evidence that is considered so strong that the case revolves around it? Why should there have been any concerns that the case to become cold? If there were any real knife sheath left at the crime scene, the discovery of it at the crime scene should have been disclosed to them much earlier, at least before 5 weeks. I know why the victim's family didn't learn about this smoking gun sooner. Because this knife sheath was a manipulated solution fabricated by law enforcement. It was not a real existing item, and until the special moment, it was only an idea that law enforcement hadn't prepared yet before the special date. This date, which I created a video on it, was the exact moment of the creation of the ghost knife sheath idea. You can go and watch it again. I mentioned in that video that the LE had just been trying to get a kind of DNA trace from Brian's father by giving him 2 traffic stops. And after constructing the fabricated evidence, they arrested Brian on this date and told the public that the DNA obtained from Brian's swab matches with his father's DNA, and the rest of the story. Ms. Ann Taylor focused on the part and blamed the FBI for their part in reaching to IgG matter. But to me, even this couldn't be a very serious matter. But as I explained in that video, the FBI couldn't have done anything wrong. But they were fooled by the LE to intervene the IgG matter to take advantage of FBI's credit for gaining the authenticity for they fabricated evidence. In fact, the key evidence of the case, which has been the ghost knife sheath, was fabricated by the MPD itself after 32 days from the incident happened. Then it was handed over to the FBI, which ultimately ended up in the officially acceptance of a fabricated evidence as a real one. This way, they could also divert the FBI from the heart of the matter, because the full intervention of the FBI could have the risk of their manipulation being revealed to them. Even in the motion by the defense, the issue of IgG was portrayed as even more sensitive and controversial than the DNA evidence itself, because Ms. Ann Taylor believed like everyone else. But to me, even the violation of Brian's rights by the FBI, as Ms. Taylor focused on it, couldn't be issue of importance compared to the fabricated DNA trace on a knife sheath. The root of the manipulation is the ghost knife sheath itself, and the IgG is just the branch. Another reason that makes me convinced that there couldn't have been any real knife sheath left at the murder scene, but only in words and as an idea, the knife sheath has been planted in the public's mind, is that who in the world, other than Brett Payne, or maybe a couple of MPD officers, claimed they saw a knife sheath at the murder scene? They couldn't even give an exact report on the precise position of the knife sheath. Their claim about the knife sheath situation was only enough to convince the public that it couldn't be seen at first sight because it had been underneath of Maddie's body, which is normal. It would have raised the question, if it was that visible, wouldn't the killer have seen it and taken it before fleeing? Therefore, they had no choice other than claiming that it had been underneath of Maddie. But could it be possible it had been left under Maddie? Let's see. Let's consider the murder scene according to Steve's explanation.
That at least 2 of the victims, it's hard for me to talk about, but they basically drowned on their stab wounds. So the blood wasn't like all over the place, or it would explain why the blood was contained. You know, so if you have a blanket over you and you're doing a lot of internal bleeding, your body will hold a portion of that. So
it must be noted that creating these pictures was really emotionally hard for me. I am deeply sorry for this situation, and I am sure that for now, the priority even for the victim's family is justice, and we all have to be flexible in some situations in searching the justice. So, according to Steve's explanation of the situation, this scene has formed in my mind, and according to this scene, it wouldn't be possible for any item like the knife sheath to be left under Maddie's body because, 1, as he said, the blanket had covered her body, which was the reason the red fluid was contained and wasn't splashed around. So if the blanket was covering her body, how could the knife sheath have ended up under her body? 2, it has been brought up that the DNA of 3 different males was found under Maddie's nail, but they ignore them under the excuse that Maddie didn't struggle, so they couldn't be the killer's DNA. Now the question is, if Maddie didn't struggle during the incident and remained without movement, then how is it possible that the knife sheath ended up underneath her? And if she had struggled, then why have the 3 male DNAs been ignored? Let's go to the next part.
You know, there was a time not too long ago where Ann Taylor was talking in one of her hearings, and they were mentioning that there wasn't any DNA of the victim items inside his vehicle, but they mentioned something about being sprayed all over the place. Now, I don't know if that's something that maybe CSI guys did to try to find something, or is there maybe, are you aware if they found anything in the car that could lead to it? Maybe
I'm glad you bring this up because nobody talks about this part. So don't believe me. Go do your own search. Go research. Go to a paid version of AI. There's some AIs that have legal descriptions and libraries. Go look it up. 6 weeks in a car, that DNA is gone. Even if you leave it there, it's going to be contaminated. It's going to degrade. So they were like, don't be surprised if we don't find anything in there because it's sitting in outdoor weather where it's going below freezing to up to 70 degrees. They literally looked at all the temperatures every single day that vehicle was outside. It wasn't garaged. So it's sitting in the baking sun, then going as cold as it possibly did.
Baking sun in November?
The coldest was something like 27 degrees. And
baking sun in November, December, and January, and I don't know.
Well, send it to Lake. What did they? What was it? Latham or the Gotham or yeah? Send it there. It'll grow. It'll grow back.
Right.
And then the hottest it got was like 60 some degrees, but inside a car, you amplify that right on up. So yeah, this individual clean, they sprayed with something, but even if they left something there, six weeks inside of a car, it wasn't going to come back. It wasn't. At least that's how it was.
That's how much bullshit is that? How much bullshit is that?
If that's really true, then they should have checked his car before they did.
Where'd Delby go?
I don't know.
Put that out there again. There's the link again, Del. That's a bunch of bullshit because I mean, cases have been broken by old DNA in vehicles inside of a vehicle.
Yeah,
that's like a bunch of crap. He's lying to his teeth.
Mm-hmm.
Describe to me, this stuff's not going to come back. Or don't be surprised. They would have been very surprised if they found something that was.
Reed Helvez? Then why were there some individuals from the FBI, whether retired or not, who went above and beyond to convince the public that Brian had cleaned his car? Apparently, they haven't been knowledgeable enough to come and speak about the matter. Also, this fact indicates that the claimed DNA trace on the ghost knife sheath wouldn't have been touch DNA or fingerprints, but it must have been in the form of skin flakes that every person could have on their clothes. Therefore, since there hadn't been any information on the knife sheath before Brian's arrest, this fact, in my opinion of course, is a double confirmation that they must have taken a sample of Brian's father's DNA, like skin flakes or a strand of hair, at this moment, and they must have attached it to a knife sheath and given it to the FBI as a sample to study it, and pretended they had found it at the murder scene. And by asking the FBI to find out about the IgG, they could manage to convince the public mind, and also the FBI, that the evidence had been found at the scene. And as I explained earlier, they took advantage of the title of the FBI for its credit. And also by doing this, they managed to avoid the possibility of having their own actions scrutinized by the FBI. Listen to another part.
Does a little blow and hangs out and is a little misfit and nobody likes them, and there's all these really popular people out there, and they have it coming to them, man, because they never really understood how special they were. And I think it's more of a reflection of them than it is the case, because the case is so strong that I thought when that Amazon order went to his door and he's deleting his history and his own family is like, what the heck is going on with our brother? Our brother's like losing his mind. That they would jump ship, and some did, but there's still people who just can overlook.
He's drunk.
No
You
alibi.
slow down? Is that
The
or is
murder
that
weapons
really
in
him?
his house, in his possession. He doesn't have it
It
anymore.
almost has to be slowed down, you
Doesn't
think? It
Yeah,
has to be
because
slowed
I don't
down
remember him
somewhat.
sounding that drunk.
Right.
have any of the
I think-
items associated. Yeah.
Are you serious, Mr. Goncalves? Is this your reasoning for him or anybody being qualified to be a killer? Let me tell you what I think in this regard, Mr. Goncalves. If someday I become aware that some men in power are deliberately trying to paint an image of a killer according to what belongs to me, of course, I would try to do something, especially when I notice that chain of signs that they are gathering them to feed the public mind couldn't have been this coincidental, and I must have been the target of something vague, especially when I don't have anything to that horrible crime. And I became confused of whom I am target of. I would do something to not let them to sacrifice me, while there is no need for me to flee because of being innocent. Also, about the reaction you described about his sister, I should say, definitely, during this vicious effort to put me into trouble, there must have been some movements against me that may have stunned my family, because these behaviors are out of my character and are not mine. Maybe you ask who can and would do some suspicious things to put me in trouble. So, let's see this part. You get your answer.
It was kind of confusing at the very beginning, and I'm sure it was confusing for the investigators, because I went in there one day with my family, and we were like, what happened to the LinkedIn? Why were you guys into our account? Why did you remove it? And they looked at us like we were from another planet. Eyes bulge, and we could tell they were being completely honest. They were like, we have no idea what you're talking about. Well, we later on figured out and investigated and found out that it was the FBI.
Man, this poor
So,
FBI.
in my opinion, the possibility of the K-bar knife sheath being left at the crime scene is zero. If I were supposed to defend Brian in this case, the very first thing I would do before doing anything would have been to study the reality of the knife sheath that the MPD claimed had been found at the crime scene. Another factor that has recently intensified my doubt about the ghost knife sheath is the scattered discussion on social media regarding the possible restriction of crime scene images during the main trial. You may wonder why.
Yeah, there's no picture of it, no photo of it.
No.
I mean, red flags coming up everywhere, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This subject could be a fine and subtle confirmation of the non-existence of the knife sheath. It means, as I believe, there wouldn't have been any knife sheath at the murder scene. Therefore, there can't be any genuine image of it logically. So, this gives me the signal that the idea of not letting all the murderer's photos be exhibited at court under the excuse of being too heinous or disturbing might be a tactic by the state to subtly evade the obligation to present a real photo of the knife sheath at the scene, because they don't have any. In my view, the image of the knife sheath at the crime scene, provided that it is genuine and not AI-generated or digitally manipulated, holds a critical importance. It should be considered the most important photo of the incident and shouldn't be underestimated. This sheath is essentially the foundation of the entire case. What sets my perspective apart from most others is that the majority seem to have taken the claim as granted. Even the defense team appears to be focusing on challenging the ripple effects it caused. However, I believe the DNA trace is more important than the IgG, and the knife sheath is more important than the DNA trace. Or better to say, the most crucial evidence that should be taken under challenge by the defense team is neither the IgG nor the DNA trace, but it is the ghost knife sheath itself. In fact, none of the alleged pieces of evidence can have the
Makes
power
a lot
or
of sense to
justification
me,
to be
man. I don't
used for
know.
accusing Brian of murder by the state without the ghost knife sheath. Although my opinion about the unreal knife sheath evidence may sound odd or hard to believe to many, I strongly believe it. Well, that was my video for today. I know most...
Anyway, a good channel. A very, very
Yeah.
good channel.
Yeah,
Again, I'm
that's
going
one of the
to,
videos I downloaded.
I'll put, what's that? No?
I saw this one. It's one of the videos I downloaded.
Did you?
I was actually going to tell you about it sometime.
Actually, I commented on your comment. I do believe. Is this the one? Yeah, I said very good video, but look right here. Delby, I like your approach to item 04. I look forward to your next video. And then I go on here. I said, what did I say? Fancy meeting you here, Del. Yes, very good. Think I'm running tomorrow night. Different line of thinking. I like it. I'll bring some subs over for them. They need subs. Hey, Delby, you want to be a mod so I can bring you up on Monday? Shoot me an email.
Is that on there?
You're the only one that I. Yeah, that's on there. Yeah.
Yeah, I have to go look and see it.
But yeah, they only have how many subs they got? They got 260 subs, and I think this is going to be a good channel here. And it only has 59 views from a day ago. So anybody, let me copy the link address and I'll put the link. My mods probably already has. Yeah, I think Debbie got it there. I think that's it. Is it? Yeah, Debbie Gazzardo's got it there. Thank you, Debbie, and whoever else did.
Debbie's always on top
pickup
of it.
line. So yeah, make sure I think that's going to be a very, very good. What do you guys think of that? I mean, they have a point.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Maybe we're maybe even the defense is chasing the wrong. I mean, we got so into that whole IgG thing, and maybe that was a ruse too, to keep us away from the actual sheath.
Yeah. It's kind of like what Ann said. It's all secretive. Look here, while look this direction instead of that direction.
Yeah, it's
right. Exactly.
The part that I can't believe at all is that Payne found that knife sheath on a crime scene. In all the videos we see of the crime scene, it looks like an anthill. All these people coming and going, and he didn't point that out. That I said it looks like an anthill with all the investigators coming and going, in and out of the house. And he didn't point out to anyone. I mean, wouldn't it be if I found what I thought was a sheath to the murder weapon, I would be bringing people in there and we would be making a big deal about documenting and taking pictures and videos.
That's the first. I mean, here's and Payne's the one that found it, right? Wasn't he?
No,
he says he was.
He says he was, right. So, and nobody else was around apparently, but he's trained that the first thing you do is take a picture of the dang thing if it's you know what I mean?
Yeah, but there were people around. Blaker was there with him, the veteran.
Right. Yeah, Blaker was there. Right. Yeah, they should
and some other people.
Why didn't they take a picture?
You wouldn't tell your hunting partner? Who was he hunting? Is that who he was hunting with? Supposedly, why he was late? Payne, was he late because he was with Blaker? Oh, with Fry. You think he'd tell somebody? You think he'd tell somebody? Hey, come look what I found. I mean,
yeah.
And everybody just distances themselves from that sheath except for Payne. You notice nobody else wants anything to do with it.
Well, here, let me think about this for a second.
I thought somebody saw it before that.
And this is true too. Payne stated he's seen it from the doorway of Maddie's room, right? Correct?
He didn't really say that.
No,
I think he's being deceptive there because he said he describes the location of it as viewed from the doorway, but he doesn't say he viewed it. And the only reason I bring this up, I wouldn't have in the beginning, but I see, the way Blaker reworded his stuff so that he changed it and clarified that he later learned about the sheath, like he never saw it.
Right. Later learned. Yeah, that was used a few times.
Yeah, so Payne's being sneaky in there. I don't know,
Yeah, there's something wrong with. I agree. There's something wrong with that sheath, and I mean, we all thought it at the beginning anyway, at the start. But now it's like we've all accepted it, and I have to agree again with them on this whole media thing, like engraving it in our brains that it's an actual fact, true thing, and now think about this. You go into Maddie's room, right? Let's going into Maddie's room. The bed's off to the left, correct?
I think so. I think you're right. Yeah.
Up against the wall, and up against that wall over here. So up against, like, here's the doorway, and it's up against this wall and this wall. So there's no way they could see it from the doorway. Nobody.
No, you couldn't.
No.
Well,
It
if it
can't
was
be that
underneath
way.
the sheet, right?
What's that, Terry?
Wasn't it supposed to be underneath the comforter or the sheet?
Yeah.
Partially.
Partially, yeah. Because, like they said, that the blanket was on her.
Well, this might be nitpicking, but and I'm not trying to be funny, but anyone else who looked into that room would have actually had a better view than Payne because they'd be taller. So they'd be looking more downward toward the if there's a sheath there. Like they'd have a better view.
I just not that video has convinced me that there wasn't even a knife sheath there. That's a ghost knife sheath, or like they call the weapons a throwdown, a throwdown sheath.
Yeah, and he didn't even throw it down. They probably didn't even think about a sheath until a week later.
Probably not. Yeah, and they just threw it in. They had time to write the PCA. They had all that time.
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah. They didn't. They even from the 29th, even from December 29th, they had. We didn't find out about it until the 5th. Until the 5th of January.
Here's my thing. Okay, with everybody saying, and it is. I mean, it just think about it. I mean, just if you really think about it, and you're really doing the investigation, right? There were 4 college kids that were viciously murdered, right? And they're saying it was one guy. And everybody else is saying, no, it's not. It can't be. It's impossible. Wouldn't you be putting more effort into finding if there was somebody else? Because this is a college campus. There could be a killer on the loose. And it's like they don't care. Yeah. They don't care.
Maybe it's because, in my opinion, it's because they know who did it.
Yeah, that's my opinion too.
Mm-hmm.
They know who did it. They either know who did it if it was done, or they know that it wasn't done, and they might not know much more than that. But
right, but they know.
Yeah, they know. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. In my opinion, I think there's, and I don't, and I'm not saying this because I don't like law enforcement or anything like that. Matter of fact, my brother was a deputy sheriff, and my brother-in-law was a sheriff of Washington County in Minnesota. But I think there's a couple in there that are very, very shady.
More than a couple.
Yeah. And that's all it takes. All it takes is one, actually. One bad apple makes more bad apples. So, you know what I mean? If you get one bad one, it can corrupt the whole
especially
thing,
if they're upper level.
Exactly. Right. And that still gets to me too. And I've said this before. Why did Payne even get to be the lead investigator?
I have no idea.
And all I can think of is he went and begged for that. Because
That's
Fry would
possible.
have gave it. You know what I mean? Fry would have gave it to one of the ones that retired early.
When did he give it to him? Because Fry showed up an hour after Payne did.
Fry gave it to him pretty quick, if I remember right.
Yeah,
Gave him the lead investigator spot. Yeah.
Yeah, somebody else was lead for a few days or a week or two.
And you know, you look at the ones that had been there 20 years, they're waiting for a case like this. You know what
You
I'm
would
saying?
think.
Yeah,
Not Blaker.
waiting for
Not
a
Blaker.
case like this. Right. But
He's like, I'm out of here.
Why would he? You're right. Why would he give it to Payne? And the only thing I can think of is that Payne went and begged him for this case. And why would he beg him for this case? And that it makes me question, makes me wonder.
Well, think about this, Tommy. If you handle this case and you do it the right way and it comes out the way that you want it to come out, you look like a hero. It's going to make your career, right? But if it doesn't, but it could also backfire and ruin your career. So there you go. I mean,
and the way he did the investigation, it's actually ruined it already.
Well, but it also fits in with him being with the feds, though, because this guy was a star. He spent, I think, 8 years in the 82nd Airborne. Yeah, he did it, actually active duty in the Middle East. He won some award his first, in the police academy or whatever. And, he doesn't seem like he's not a deadbeat, he's not a dud like Mowry. Mowry, the poor guy, he's just been led astray 100%. But not Payne. I don't get that feeling from Payne at all. I get the feeling like he's on top of this. Like, even when he says he doesn't know, he says it in a way like, he knows what he's doing. It seems like.
Yeah, he's not a dummy. He's not a dummy.
No.
But he did answer some questions like that made him look like a fucking dummy. I can say that.
Okay. He's in a situation where you got to do, there's nothing you can do. This thing's so far gone. This train is so far off the rails that I don't see how anybody's coming out of this unscathed. I mean,
right. Yeah. The place will never be the same. Yeah. Which is sad in a lot of ways, but there's so much that goes on in that town that I don't know. I don't think I'd let my children.
Oh, no.
I'd fight for them not to go to that college.
I'll never step foot inside that state, especially after talking about them.
Well, actually, I want to go to the trial, though.
Oh, really?
I do. I really do. Right? Yeah, I'm sure. I might have to wear a disguise. If you see an old bearded man walking with a cane and everything, that'd be me.
If you're an old bearded man, you'll fit
with
right
a cool
in.
T-shirt.
Right? Yeah.
An obvious disguise and a cool T-shirt.
Right. Yeah.
I think everybody has a beard there.
Right. No shit.
Tommy, were you going to keep going? Because I just have to change locations here real quick. It takes me like 2 minutes.
I think I'm gonna shut it down. I do believe. We've been
okay.
going at a couple hours there on Monday and stuff. So
all right.
I wanted to get that video out there and help that channel a little bit too, because I think it's going to be a really good channel. I
think that video is a keeper.
Yeah, it is. It really, really is. Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, thanks for making me a mod. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, and I appreciate you being a mod too. And yeah.
I would have been better prepared if I knew that you were going to do that, but today's been a day.
You're fine.
My
Right. It
Wi-Fi,
has been here too.
the Wi-Fi I'm using gets turned off at 10 o'clock.
Oh, that sucks.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I moved to the 6 and I haven't really modernized anything yet.
Where are you from, Gabby?
Originally Cleveland. Yeah, I grew up in Cleveland. Well,
are you in Ohio now?
yeah. I grew up in the suburbs of Cleveland, and then now I'm like about an hour and 15 minutes from Columbus, Southeast Ohio.
Oh, okay. Geez, I know a lot of people from Ohio. I think there's other mods that are from Ohio, actually.
I'm from Ohio.
If I remember right.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, you are.
So is Cryptic,
Right.
or Cryptic's from Columbus. Actually, I think she said.
And Simply Solo is, and so is Heather.
Oh, really?
Evil.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, there's quite a few actually. Yeah, Elle was from Ohio.
I'm about to get cut off.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, Del. You take
Thanks,
care,
Terry.
brother.
Thanks.
Okay, thanks for coming up.
Thanks, Delpy.
Yep. All right.
Yeah.
Take a
Good night.
Take care. Yep. Have a good one. All right. Another good, successful Mod Monday. Thank you, Terry, for being on.
You're welcome.
And
bye, guys.
Yep, you take care. You take care too, girl. All
right.
right. See you guys later. Yep. All right. Another Mod Monday. And yeah, it was that's a really interesting video. I suggest watching it again. I watched it a couple of times and it starts to sink in a little even more once you watch it again. It's like I'm getting what they're saying now, you know. It's going to be a good channel, I think. So anyway, to my subs, you are my heart, and my mods, you are my soul. And until next time, rock and roll.
screaming